Good morning. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend and a good start to your week. Um, it's almost the end of May already, and it's almost like Memorial Day weekend. So, hopefully, wherever you are, you have good weather. Um, hasn't been that great here in Boston still. Not surprised, but yeah, hopefully, have a good week, good start to your week. Um, If you haven't already, please check out my Instagram or TikTok at Black Hippie Lounge. Follow the podcast. And you can also check out my website that has t shirts and hoodies and hats and apparel. And I will be doing my first vendor event, like I said, June 11th, here in Boston. And um, that will be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Reverend Low Wainwright Park in Boston. Um, so it's a free event. It's for kids, family. It has like not just vendors. It has food and various games and stuff. So definitely come check it out. Hopefully the weather is great by then, so it will be even better. Other than that, I would like you to please check out from us for you products. They have CMOS, great CMOS. I've told you about before. I showed you on my TikTok video, and I've tagged them in last episodes, and I'll tag them in this one as well. But again, they have really great products, local Boston CMOS company. They do deliveries as well. And sometimes he has a lot of specials, so he has different flavors, not just the regular CMOS. So definitely check it out. It has CMOS has a lot of great benefits, especially if you're looking to have a healthy lifestyle. Definitely check it out. You can consume it, but you can also use it as a face mask. And so different, and you can also use it in your hair too. So definitely check them out. Like I said, it's from us for you products. Um, they have great CMOS products, so check them out. And it's black owned business, so support. So for today, I wanted to do an episode about a post that I saw. Um, Definitely relates to life for me, and saw it on TikTok. It's the page is called God Spoke 8, and I just was scrolling through, and it came across my page, and it was 5 signs God is calling you to a higher purpose. And so I feel like I've talked about this before in episodes, but I think sometimes just a refresher or just talking about it in a different light or different information could be helpful too. So, number one, God is communicating with you through dreams and confirmations. God will send dreams and visions about your purpose and will start communicating through other people and events. So, for me lately, I've been having a lot of vivid dreams, to be honest. Some that I'm still not really sure what exactly the message is, but I feel like you ever feel like you got the message, but you don't know what the message really was yet? Like it has to still play out. That's how I feel. I had some vivid dreams. One that involved a family member who passed away years ago, a couple years ago. He came to my dream. It was so vivid too. And then I've had dreams just have been a series of a lot of vivid dreams. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but um I remember that they were very vivid. And when I woke up, I remembered them. And I got to start doing that. They say when you have vivid dreams like that, and it is usually a message from God, and you're supposed to write it down when you wake up. Same thing with meditation. Like if you have a vision during meditation, you're supposed to write it down. And I did that once because recently, like last month, I had a really vivid meditation, and I wrote everything down that I saw. And I need to start doing that too, because you should, if you have a journal, like keep it next to your bed so that when you wake up from the dream, you can write it down. Um, but yeah, if you can, try to remember to do that. But like it says, God will send dreams and visions about your purpose. And sometimes I think for me, the reason why I can't remember everything and because I'm not sure what the vision is, because sometimes it's about your purpose, but you're still figuring out what your purpose is. So how would you know to connect that that's your purpose if you're still figuring out? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just a glimpse of what is to come, and you're not supposed to understand right now. You're supposed to understand once you get into the actual process and the purpose. So number two, your desires have changed. Everything you try to do is failing to give you the satisfaction, and you feel a strong void in your heart. This I can definitely relate to. Again, these are five signs God is calling you to a higher purpose. Recently, this year, I've talked about this before, how I have decided to change my lifestyle, especially diet wise. Like, even as of this week, I've stopped having breakfast. I only am having I guess they're smoothies, like these drinks that I make. And they're really drinks that are supposed to be for gut health and skin, and but they're very filling because they're filled with a lot of vegetables, and I put mix some fruits in there too. So, and I've been hearing about the concept of fasting, um, from like religious podcasts that I listen to, and I was never someone who grew up in the church or anything like that. So I didn't really know much about that or ever experience fasting. And I thought, like, I don't think I could do that, right? Because I'm always used to eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And like I said, as of recently, just changing my lifestyle. And I think I'm going to do that. I guess technically that is fasting because I'm not eating any food. I'm just drinking these two drinks that I have that I make, um, that consist, like I said, of fruits and vegetables, and it is very filling. And usually, I feel like I don't get hungry until like lunch and then dinner, and then that's it. So I'm gonna see what that's about. Not only just for mental, spiritual health, but physical health. You know what I mean? Trying to get my weight goals, but my point is, um, my desires have changed, right? And like even things that I want to eat and drink. Like I told you, I'm still doing pescatarian. I don't want to eat meat anymore. Even though I did think about getting some Chick-fil-A the other day. But I was like, wait, that is not fish. But every once in a while I can have a little chicken, a little something, a little something, something, But um because I don't know if I could get rid of the Chick-fil-A. And I thought about like when I want to move down south. I want to move to North Carolina, and there's a restaurant there called Cookout. If you know me, you know I love me some Cookout, baby. Let me get a burger. Let me get that burger plate $5, okay? And yeah, I don't know. I tell you one thing, I moved down there, I'm not giving up that meat. I'm telling you right now. I'm not gonna have it every frequently. I have it every once in a while as a treat, but yeah, ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm giving up Cookout for that. I'm sorry. Um, but anyway, my point is my desires have changed. Like not even just food, but people that I hang around, which has been really nobody recent, like lately. Because it's not necessarily because I'm trying to be like a loner or nothing. I think it's just this is really a time where I have learned to appreciate my own company, but also understand why I need to be around my own self, right? And really tune into myself and learn how to be there for myself first before anybody else. Like you got to be there for you. God, you got to look to God and you got to look to yourself first, and then you can look to other people. I think that sometimes we're conditioned to look directly to friends and family and to God too. But we have to realize that like you can save you at the end of the day. So learn how to be your own savior, your own therapist and stuff like that. And you still obviously use outside sources, but the point is like becoming more in tune with yourself and in your own company, your desires can naturally change. You don't have a desire necessarily to have to hang out with other people or have these certain relationships and interactions anymore. And also things that you eat, things that activities that you might do could change too. So that's another way that God is showing you that you're shedding things from your old self, right? Shedding old patterns, shedding old habits, and you're getting closer to a newer version of yourself and a higher version of yourself, and getting to your purpose. And so, number three, you are questioning everything. When God is moving you into a greater purpose, you feel displaced and begin to question everything, your choices, both past and present, and your motives. This can feel like you're having a midlife crisis. Don't fear, it's often God realigning your destiny. I definitely can relate to that. I definitely feel like I'm having a midlife crisis and I'm not even midlife yet. Um, because just of the way that this year alone has been going for me, there are times where I do question things when, I feel like I put in effort for certain jobs or something like that, or just certain, ideas or plans that I have created for myself, and it just doesn't go through. And then you kind of think about like, all right, sometimes, yeah, like you do kind of find yourself in that place. Well, dang, like did this happen because of something that I did, or is it because this is how God wanted it to happen? And that's a conflicting question as well too, right? Sometimes it is because of you, because something that you did, or it's because of you, but also at the same time I think about like God already knew. If it was already written, then God already knew. So it's still a part of his plan as well, right? Knowing that you were going to do, or you were going to get into this space, and that you're going to eventually still come out, um to fulfill your destiny, as long as you do the work, right? And put in the shift and put in the energy and follow what God tells you to do. And so, again, it's just when you start questioning everything, that's when you know that you're being realigned, and you're being pushed, or not pushed, but you're being realigned to your destiny, like it says, right? And then you kind of just open your mind more to different possibilities, and you're open to more um, avenues of ways that things can go in your life. And the more open you are to letting God, the universe, whoever it is that you may believe in, the higher up, your higher self, take kind of the reins in that, and guide you, then the easier it will be for you to figure things out too, right? And so, number four, God separates you from people and your environment. God will separate you from your environment when He is trying to put you in a better position. This means you will lose friends who are not in line with your purpose. This right here is literally, for me, it was the end, like the last half of last year, and definitely this year. I've lost a lot of people, just that, not necessarily by death, but just been separated. I really have been like solo, like I mean it, and I've had like a few friends who I still connect with and that check in. Few family members that still like make an effort to communicate and check in, but it's really just been me and God. It really has, for especially like a day-to-day basis, and then every once in a while like family members and stuff like that. But it really has been, and it's not easy. It's not an easy path, because not necessarily saying that we don't enjoy our own company, but we still are humans, and we're spirits having a human experience. So the way we're designed, we do need that interaction. So I do have to make sure I still go out, and like, even if I just go out for the day and go to the library or something like that, or plan things for myself to do things solo, it's important just to get out and get that human interaction. Doesn't mean that I'm saying hello to everyone and making friends with everybody, but just still like being out and about, and not being solid, like in this solitary confinement type of energy, right? Still making sure I do that, making sure I still work out, for my mental and physical health, and just changing your environment and the people that you're around, being intentional with that. I think that's a very important, is being intentional. I don't have a desire anymore to go out like that. Like, when I'm saying go out, like I mean to parties, or um to the club, or to drink, or to do like things like edibles, stuff like that. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't have nothing against it, and I don't think anybody who does is any less or better or whatever. It's just not for me anymore, for various reasons, not just because of where I'm at in my life and like the situation, but just like health wise and plans that I have for myself moving forward, it doesn't align. And like it says, like God will separate things and from you that don't align with your purpose. And I think that for me, the next step in my life, whenever that decides to come about, will just those things won't align anymore. I won't be able to bring those type of things with me. I have to be in a different space as a person. So learning to go through kind of um yeah, just separation from habits and things that my old self was used to, that the new self kind of just doesn't even, you're just not attracted to things anymore, right? Like, you ever been like in a space where like you might like somebody, or you have friends or whatever that you've known for a long time, but as you start to grow as a person, you're no longer attracted to that. Like, you're no longer, like, we no longer are aligned. You just realize it, like, like, we don't got the same interest anymore. This person is no longer attractive to me. It doesn't have to be physically. It's just like, as a person, like, you're no longer someone that I would consider giving my energy to, in space and time. And that's okay. Everybody has their different times of when they evolve. So learning how to respect that and allow the separation to happen. Sometimes we do kind of operate in ego, and we'll be like, why can't this person come along? Or, why doesn't this person, why are we not, something's wrong here. Like, we don't click like we used to, or, and it's just being able to respect the fact that if it was supposed to be, it would have been. And if you're supposed to still click with that person, and person is supposed to go along with you on your evolution path, then they would. And if they're not, then you have to respect what God is trying to tell you through that like, this person can't go. They can't go, maybe because they're not strong enough to go. They might just have a completely different purpose than you that would mess up both of your lives, or they would hold you back. um they might ruin your future for you. So there's just different things that come into play, but you have to remember that, like, at times like that, no matter what it's looking like, you have to you have to trust the universe, you have to trust God, that even when we don't understand, because humans, we don't understand the outer, like, the not outer body, what is it called, higher higher self or something, I don't know, I guess higher self, or like, um what God sees and what the universe sees, and what the story is. Like, we can only see so much as humans. We only get to see, we can't see into the future. I've said this before. You can't see, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I have an idea, but I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know what's going to happen next month. I have an idea, but I don't know for certain. But God, the universe, already knows. They already know what's going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And there's no way we're going to get a glimpse of that. Right. So the point is, like, just being able to let go and trust in the process. And even when that involves getting, not, I want to say get rid of, but allowing the separation of things that you thought maybe you wouldn't be separating from, allowing that to happen and being okay with that and making peace with it. It's okay to be upset. Something that I was listening to this new podcast that I found from TikTok, and I really like their podcast. They are called. Ooh, hold up! I was just listening to them. Oh, hold up! Hope I hope I can still uh, find them. But they're called Your Favorite Auntie's Podcast, and they talk about spirit. They talk about religion and spirituality, but not too much. Like, it's not overkill, but it's to the point where a lot of the episodes I have been able to resonate and understand certain things, again, because I'm somebody who I didn't grow up in the church, so a lot of things I'm still learning. And you know so when you have other resources that you can relate to and understand, and they can kind of break it down for you in a way for you to still understand in your personal understanding, but also being understanding, like, biblically, that it can be helpful too. So if you want to check them out, definitely check it out. It's called Your Favorite Aunties Podcast. I haven't listened to all the episodes, but I've listened to a few where they were really helpful and they're funny too, you know. So I love that. And so um the last step of, again, these are 5 signs God is calling you to a higher purpose. The last one is called God sends helpers who will take you to your purpose. You have started meeting inspiring people who are pushing you to work on yourself. So this one I haven't really had happen yet. Hopefully that's going to be next cuz I would need that. But yeah, I mean, God sends helpers who help you to get to your purpose, right? Because along the way you're going to realize that like your purpose is going to be, your higher purpose is bigger than you. It's not just for you, it's for your family, it's for people that come after you, it's for just like generations and the community. So with that being said, you're not going to be able to just do it all by yourself. You're going to need help. And so um being open to that, meaning like it might be someone that you just wouldn't expect that can give you the inspiration or give you the tools that you need or the resources that you need or link you to somebody that can give you that, the key to your next step type of thing. um Being, paying attention to your surroundings again and making sure you're in a good environment, because somebody might just have a message for you, right? I don't know if that's ever happened to you before. It's definitely happened to me before, where I've been, whether it be, excuse me, like on the train or walking on the street and stuff. Or I remember a few years ago when I was kind of in a similar space and I was just going through the motions in life and I was really unsure of how I was going to get to where I was trying to go in terms of like in my life. And I was at the laundromat and I was doing my laundry, and this older woman and her daughter, they were both older because they were both older than me. But the lady, one lady, she was like maybe my mom's age at that time. And then it was her mom. So she was like an older lady, like maybe in her 70s, something like that. And I was sitting there because usually I would go to my car and just chill, listen to the radio, whatever, and or listen to music or be on the phone or something. Or handle like different errands while my clothes dry. But that time I was just like, you know what, let me just sit here and wait. And I sat, there was a seat, there happened to be a seat. And so the lady, she she came to sit down too. And then we just started, I don't even know how, but we started talking. And then she was telling me, she's the one who taught me really about meditation. Like before that, I hadn't really meditated and I hadn't really I had heard of meditation, but I wasn't really even sure how to go about it. And I had asked her, I was like, how do you meditate? Because she was saying that she was meditating for like an hour plus. Like she said, one time she's meditated for like 2 hours straight. And I'm like, how what are you doing, like what are you thinking about for for that long? How are you able? And she was like, it's just like she had to learn how to train her mind and her body to relax and also like just focus on her meditation rather than, because I feel like even still, like when I meditate, I don't rush it, but sometimes it's like, oh, I'm about to go to bed, or when I wake up, or like in the middle of doing something. So you think you have to learn how to separate the out this world that we're in from in your mind to like going deep within to basically like another time period or universe really, where you can be present mentally there versus being here, because here we have so many distractions and to-do lists and things that we have on our minds that can kind of distract your meditation. But my point is like, she taught me a lot about meditation at that point, but she taught me a lot of other things too. And she probably didn't even know that she did, but we had a long conversation and it was just like, that was a someone that like left a lasting impression in my mind that I would have never came across, in my everyday life. And I say that to say like she was a part of, me going to the next level of my higher self and learning how to meditate. And because I think at that time I don't even know if I had started the podcast. I really don't. I don't think I had started it, but that was kind of like she would teach me a lot about spirituality. And I think I had started to learn about spirituality, but I don't think I had started the podcast or anything like that. Or if I did, it wasn't like far along that long, but she definitely played a role without really knowing. But again, that is like an example of God sending a helper. And I've had other instances where people of other ages too have just randomly said things to me that like literally pointed. Because I remember the day that I found out about my job, about losing my job. And at that time, at that morning, I didn't know. I just knew that I was going to have a conversation with them. And I remember like feeling kind of like all over the place emotionally, and I was like, let me go get some coffee or whatever, go get some hot chocolate. And I never really did that, and so I went to get hot chocolate. I just sat there for a little bit, and then I went back. And on my way back, this guy on the street, I was walking back to the building, never seen this guy in my life. And I forget what he said to me. He was walking behind me. He came from behind me, and he made a point to like turn around and tell me like, good morning, everything's going to be okay, or something like that. Or he was like, good morning, I hope you have a great day, everything's going to work out. And I was just like so stunned, because like, first of all, like, if you know, like, I'm in the city, like I'm living in the city, like you don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people don't say what, no matter what race, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll sometimes people will say hi, but most of the time people are just in a mode of like doing their own thing. So for him to say good morning for one, uh have a good day for two, and then to tell me that everything was going to be all right, I was like, oh, good morning. I was like, thank you. All I really could get out was thank you, but that like struck me, because I was just like, dang, like that was definitely a message. Because yes, those things are simple, but for him to say everything's gonna be okay, this man doesn't know what I'm going through. It wasn't like I was sitting there crying or anything like that. I was literally just walking with hot cocoa, and was like literally walking like across the street. So, and then again, he was coming from behind me, so it's not like he saw me like with a sad face or anything. I didn't. I was literally just walking to my building. And so I remember that again, that's another situation where it's very simple, but I never forgot it. And I needed that. So and it made just things easier for me once I got the news and all that stuff. Like, it's just like, all right, you know what, it's gonna be fine, you know. So um yeah, sometimes, like I said, God will send people to give you a message too, and get you aligned to your purpose. So if you can, just pay attention, think about these 5 signs that God is calling you to a higher power, or your higher purpose, and try to be more in tune with your surroundings, the people, and yourself, and yes, just your life overall, and allow things to take place, and allow God to realign you to your purpose. So I hope this was helpful. As always, I'm your host, Chanel. This is the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. If you haven't already, like I said, subscribe to the podcast. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Black Hippie Lounge. If you'd like to be a guest, please DM me and let me know. I am open to doing interviews again. Excuse me. And check out my website. And like I said, if you haven't already, check out the CMOS company that I was telling you about here in Boston. Um, it's called at From Us For You Products. And I will tag them, like I said, in the posts of this episode. And as always, meditate, manifest, invest in you, and take care. Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.